Hey y'all, Hubkap Dillon here. Well, today I thought we would check out this 1955 Chevrolet model by Monogram, the name for Quality Hobby Kits. This is a Daryll Starbird customizing kit. He was based out of Wichita, Kansas, and became a Monogram custom consultant. And it's kind of a neat box. It's from 1963. There's 130 parts, 3 colors, and chrome. You could make a stock hardtop, custom convertible, custom Continental type hardtop with bullet headlights, futuristic model with bubble top, bucket seats, and console. Man, I'd like to have all the extra accessories. And that shows the stock hardtop, and there's the convertible. See, made in USA. Copyright 1963, Monogram Models Incorporated. Morton Grove, Illinois. Show you the side here, or show you the end here. Opening it up, it's not in the box isn't in the best shape, but still pretty good shape for its age though. I think we've waited long enough to see the car that came with it. So let's do the unveiling. It's cool to see the work the builder put into assembling this model, and it looks like he went with the concept that was on the box with the hardtop. And then this, to me, looks like it makes me think of a Corvette. Looks to be a 57 or 58 Corvette grille. I don't know if you can see under the hood. Looks like 6 deuces. I'll be kind of careful with this. And here's the chassis. There's not a whole lot of details you can see, but it is pretty clean underneath. And they painted the chrome on it. Anyway, that was a Modeler's Choice Customizing Kit from 1963, the 55 Chevrolet. It was a 1/2 inch scale, 1/24 actual size. You see it even rolls. I like the models that roll. Anyway, I thought I would show that, and we will move on to the magazine. Well, let's start off with a sip of coffee before we take a look at the magazine. I got my mug here with the bump side and the hunters. Anyway, so we are going to go through this January 1955 Hot Rod issue. And if any one of you are familiar with the show, there is Sergeant Joe Friday and Dragnet's Big Rod. That was an actual episode, and I found that on YouTube and I watched it. I was a little disappointed because it didn't show as much of the hot rod as you would think they would show, but and we'll look at the back cover for Grant piston rings. Here's a J.C. Whitney ad. Get the new 1955 Value Pack Catalog Now saves you up to 50% on automotive parts and accessories. And you also get a free gift if you mail a coupon and 25 cents today. They will include absolutely free and amazing valuable new safety chart. It tells you how your car is safe. And supply is limited. Here's one for another advertisement for learning to mechanic. And has a cool flathead there. Turn your hobby into a career. I wonder how many of these actually had the coupons cut out of these magazines. And then a little ad for Edelbrock, showing all their products, their manifolds, and basically just their manifolds on this ad. And here they're advertising Blonde dual exhaust systems for Chevrolet and Pontiac. The Southern California EcoFlow, not Flowmaster or MagnaFlow, but EcoFlow. I don't know if you can see that. I'll bring it up a little closer. Got your Pontiac there and your 55 Chevy, like we just looked at. And we will kind of go through some of this. We won't go through every page. We will check out some of the viewers' rides. Check out a few of these anyway. This is kind of a thicker magazine, so we won't go through every page, but here's one analyzing the Chevrolet Big Block, or the Chevrolet V8, excuse me. Shows you some of the cutaways. All the diagrams here. Excuse me for a moment while I take another sip of coffee, and we'll continue on. And here is an article by Wally Parks, who was the founder of the NHRA. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the title of the article. It says, Old soldier of the Mexican road race goes back into battle for supremacy in the V Carrera Panamericana. We'll take a look at some of these photos. I hope you can see all these. And then we go on to Dragnet's Big Rod episode. This is kind of mainly the kind of shots they had of the car in the episode. It wasn't all, showing the whole car, and it wasn't so much that the episode was about the car itself, it just featured the car. There was a little case they were working on that had to do with a hit and run accident. Just some of the scenes here. And just kind of more scenes. There's the National Hot Rod Association. I think Wally Parks was in the episode as well. They were interviewing him, and that guy's wearing a Hot Rod and Carcraft magazine shirt. And this is a hand-built hauler called the Miniature Mammoth. Here's another race article, Making Roadster History. And making the Plymouth Rock. A guy dropped a rocket in his 47 Plymouth. That would be a neat car to do for one of my drawings. Do like a custom chop on it and just kind of restyle it a little bit. I think that would be pretty cool. Might do something like that. Maybe have a little content on that. I have one that I'm working on right now. I haven't been able to get to it lately, but it's a drawing I'm doing, and hopefully I can get that finished. And here's a Bonneville type racer. Has a 32 front axle, Ford front axle. Now this is a little loose, but I hadn't noticed that before. But anyway, this is showing to put dual quads on your 54 Merc. Little article here. Rodding at random. Here's an ad for a Bendix fuel pump, automotive electric fuel pump. Have a cool little drawing there, little illustration. Honest Charlie Speed Shop. You get a free 2 chrome tail pipe extensions. Here's the International Motor Review. Galaxy of Cars includes Southland's latest rods. At least this car show highlight article is all intact, unlike one of the last magazines we checked out where part of it was cut out. This is a lot of the stuff you would see at a roadster show. They've been doing these kind of events for a very long time. Moly plus bronze. Long engine life. Shows all the accessories you can get. And here's the sidewall rings you can get right there. You're not going to find a set of 4 for $750. Actually, this is Auto Discount Company. There's a wind. All these cool advertisements here. Midwest Auto Specialties. But what I was saying, here in Idaho, there doesn't seem to be, I might have said this before, that there's not as much car culture here. I mean, there is car culture. There are car guys here, but it's not like in other areas. Even back east, they seem to have more going on, and even in the Midwest, but it just seems like around here it's not as plentiful. And it seems like prices are a little more steep when you're looking for car stuff, like, the old vintage automobilia and car parts. And that's kind of a cool little illustration right there. And there's car club plaques. And Jack and jacket emblems. There's, I don't know if you can see it, there's Lady Luck. There's an ad for a Morgan Studebaker Champion 6 or V8. And there's an ad for a Morgan Studebaker. I'll try to. I'm sorry if some of this is out of focus. Champion 6 or V8. And we're getting close to the end. And a 55 Hot Rod Annual. I actually have a couple of annuals from the 60s, I believe it is. And here is the Hot Rod Mart. See if we can find some prices on old cars. What they wanted for them back then. That's a little blurry. Let me get this adjusted and I'll show you something I came across. Thought it was pretty interesting. A 1954 Dodge Coronet hardtop radio heater Chrysler Powerflight engine described in May 54 HRM. $2,200, and guess who owned this? Vic Edelbrock of Edelbrock Performance. And he was asking $2,200. Back then, that was quite a bit of money, but these days, that'd be considered a bargain at that price. Most of the ads in this section are readers looking to buy and not to sell so much. I mean, there are a few in here. Of course, if I took my time, I could probably find a few prices in here, but I think that's about it for now. And that was the January 1955 issue of Hot Rod Magazine, featuring the Big Rod from Dragnet. I was a little disappointed about the cover or the page being a little loose in there, but overall it's a pretty cool book. Definitely one for the collection. And I want to thank y'all for watching, and please give this video a thumbs up and drop a comment below, and please subscribe to the channel. I'd be happy to have you as a subscriber. And please remember to ring that bell for notifications because more content is on the way. Y'all take care. Hubkap Dillon signing off.